When I was 17, I thought I had my life figured out. I was going to leave my small Mississippi town, go to college in New York, become a teacher, and maybe write a book someday. My name is Grace Walker, and I'm now 56 years old, and let me tell you, nothing went according to plan. I was the youngest of 4 kids and the only girl. My mother worked 2 jobs, and my father had left when I was just 5. I grew up fast. I cooked meals, cleaned the house, helped my brothers with homework. By the time I graduated high school, I had earned a full scholarship. I remember hugging my acceptance letter to my chest, tears streaming down my face. It felt like freedom. But life has a funny way of testing you. 3 weeks before I was supposed to leave for college, my mother collapsed at her second job. Stroke. She survived, but she couldn't walk or speak clearly. Suddenly, I was her caregiver. The scholarship was deferred. New York would have to wait. Days turned into months. I got a job at the local diner. I worked morning shifts and took care of Mama in the evenings. I watched my friends leave town, post photos from dorm rooms, wear their school colors with pride. And I stayed. At 21, I met Marcus. He was charming, funny, and 2 years older. He worked at a car shop and loved to dance. He made me laugh like I hadn't laughed in years. Within a year, we were married. I thought I had found a new dream, a family of my own. We had our first child, Jeremiah, when I was 23, then 2 girls, Kayla and Rose. Life was hard, but it had joy. We didn't have much money, but we had love, or so I thought. When Jeremiah turned 10, things began to change. Marcus started staying out late, said he was working overtime. Then came the coldness, the distance, the scent of perfume on his jacket that wasn't mine. I confronted him. He didn't deny it. He didn't apologize either. He left 2 weeks later. No child support, no calls, nothing. I was 34 years old, 3 kids, 2 jobs, and barely surviving. But I didn't give up. I took night classes at the community college. I studied while my kids slept. I cried in the shower where no one could hear me. I leaned on neighbors, church friends, even strangers. And somehow, by 40, I had my teaching degree. I got a job at the local elementary school, the same one I had attended as a girl. My students became my joy. I poured my heart into every lesson. I made up songs for multiplication tables, read stories with dramatic voices, and hugged every child who looked like they needed one. Jeremiah graduated high school and joined the Navy. Kayla got into nursing school. Rose became a social worker. I watched them soar, but I was tired. Years of struggle had taken their toll. I had arthritis in my knees, a heart that skipped beats, and sometimes nights so lonely I couldn't breathe. At 50, I met David. He was a widower who had just moved into the neighborhood. Quiet, kind. He brought me flowers from his garden and helped me fix a leaky faucet. We had coffee every Sunday morning and talked about books, music, and lost dreams. For the first time in years, I felt seen. We didn't rush. We didn't even kiss for 6 months. But when he held my hand, it felt like home. Then came the diagnosis, breast cancer, stage 2. I remember the doctor's words like thunder in a storm. I sat in the car for an hour before I could drive home. I didn't want to tell my kids. I didn't want them to see me as weak. David was there for every chemo session, every sleepless night, every strand of hair that fell from my head. He read to me, sang to me, and prayed with me. After a year, I was declared cancer-free. We celebrated with carrot cake and gospel music, but the battle had changed me. I no longer chased perfection. I embraced simplicity, morning light, a student's smile, a quiet evening with tea. Now at 56, I look back on the road I didn't choose. I never made it to New York. I never wrote that book. But I raised 3 beautiful children. I taught hundreds of little ones. I survived heartbreak and disease. And I found love, not once, but twice. If you ask me now what success looks like, I'll tell you this. It looks like waking up each day with purpose, even if that purpose is just to try again. It looks like surviving when you didn't think you could. It looks like choosing love again and again. And maybe, just maybe, it looks like a story you weren't planning to write.